So in my teenage years, I just simply could not get a girlfriend. And, and it was very frustrating because I had everything going for me. I had good parents. We were in the upper middle class. We were in a small protective town. There was no gangs. And I was in marching band and all these things. But secretly, no one really knew that I had Asperger's. In fact, back then, it wasn't even really a diagnosis. My parents knew nothing about it. In fact, most of mainstream didn't know about it until they watched The Rain Man. And that was basically autism. It wasn't even really Asperger's. But growing up was really difficult for me because I was in my own world. I didn't want to hang out with people. I just self-isolated or I played one-on-one with friends. I never really did great in groups. And I didn't really participate in school, especially after I discovered hard rock when I was 12. Then I just got lost in my imagination listening to hard rock while rocking, stimming they call it, back and forth looking out the windows of my house growing up, listening to hard rock. I started to fail out of school, and girls just thought I was quiet and weird. And a lot of people are called weird when they have Asperger's because they don't hold eye contact, and people think that's a personal assault. When you don't give someone eye contact, they think that you're shady, or if you're hiding a secret, or you disrespect them. And eye contact for me was very difficult, and I was becoming rebellious. My rebellion was basically a bulletproof vest to protect myself. It was a hard shell so no one would hurt me, because my dad had hurt me a lot, being very strict. My friends hurt me a lot by teasing me, and then the bullies, and then eventually the girls. So probably the worst insult I ever heard was someone calling me weird, because that just completely discredited me, made me feel awkward. And basically when people call you weird, they don't understand you. And they can't categorize you. They can't label you. So they just end it with saying you're weird. And it's a total insult. I had a girlfriend call me weird once, and I basically just started crying. Looking back, I was kind of half crying, but I was also trying to make her feel uncomfortable to get her back, because I had really complex defense mechanisms, and I wanted her to get her back, and I wanted to get a lot of attention from her. So I basically cried, and she was like, "Oh no, what happened? I'm sorry." She was a very sweet, caring girl, and looking back, it was kind of crappy that I did that, but I really hated the word weird. And so later in life, in my 20s, I had a nice car. I was good looking. I had a decent job, and girls just stayed away from me. And later I found out that they thought I was cocky. And I wasn't cocky. It was a self-defense mechanism. I didn't want to get close to people. I didn't know how to get intimate. I didn't know how to give them eye contact. And I was very shy. In fact, my mom said I was very shy when I was in preschool. She said that I didn't talk. I just kind of, hung out by myself. And I still do that today. I analyze people for at least a few weeks before I even speak sometimes. I do have complex um, coping mechanisms as far as acting. I feel like I get into a role when I'm around certain people. I'm like a chameleon, and that's because I don't have a strong self-identity. My identity is very abstract. It's neutral. But I do have an ego, so I do feel like I'm a certain type of person. But when I get around people, that identity goes out the window, and I become them almost. So if I get around, for instance, a guy who's in construction, and he's a man's man type of guy, kind of gruff and watches football and drinks beer, I'm going to be like that. I'm going to be like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm going to be like, "All right, cool. Where are you watching?" You know? And then if I'm around someone who's more feminine and artsy, I'm gonna be like, hey, how's it going? Where are you doing? Oh, I love that stuff. I'm gonna show more of that enthusiasm. I'm gonna be lighter on my feet. And I've done that throughout my life. So girls, I just did not figure out girls. And the first girlfriend I ever had was actually 20 years older than me, because people with Asperger's usually tend to have older friends, because older people usually have more respect, they listen better, they have better communication skills. And this woman had a very strong paternal instinct. And after a while, I resented her because she was more like a mom than a girlfriend. But we were together for 4 years. She taught me everything I knew about art and music and literature. But in the end, I wanted girls younger than me. I was craving, when I was 24, I was with her and she was 44, and I went to Job Corps, and there was girls that were like 17 and 18 and 19, and I was like, wow, these girls are really cute, but I'm with this older woman. So I started to resent her. And when I started drinking when I was 17, I just stopped thinking about girls altogether. I was like, alcohol's amazing, music's amazing. I don't even need girls. And so I got really kind of bitter and closed off. And my parents were pissing me off. I didn't like my dad. I gave him the silent treatment because one of the things I did was withhold love. And I was very good at it. I gave my dad a silent treatment that lasted 2 years, from 16 to 18, until he kicked me out. And eventually that bit me in the rear end later on, because it ate me alive. By giving people silent treatments, it actually hurt me more than it hurt them. And I would hold grudges for decades. People didn't even realize that I had a grudge against them. So it was basically eating me up, because I'm like, no, I don't like them. And I would think about them at night and be like, I'm going to get them back somehow. Whereas they're just living their life. They're not even thinking about me. So I wasted years by wanting to seek revenge and get people back. And I created a hard shell because I was extra sensitive and I didn't want to get hurt. I know I'm jumping all over the place with the timelines, but it's just it's just flowing, so I gotta just go with it. But I hope you understand what I'm talking about. And I think you can outgrow a lot of these traits. So if you're in your early 20s and you're watching this and you're like, yeah, I just cannot get a girlfriend, I wouldn't worry, because I think you can outgrow a lot of these growing pains that Asperger's brings. I can I feel like I'm more articulate than ever. I feel like I am a respectable citizen, and part of the community, but I still have social anxiety. So I stopped all the stuff that was causing social anxiety. There was a lot of guilt and shame in my life created by, first my dad spanking me really hard. I had a lot of shame. And then, drinking and drugging created a lot of shame. And girls dissing me created a lot of shame. My whole life has been shame and guilt. But I can help by reducing that by not doing stupid things. I've been sober for 13 years. I'm proud of that. I'm still fapping once in a while, and that's holding me back from being completely confident, because, I'm 48 years old. I shouldn't be, playing with myself like a boy. And I read an article that men who do choose to fap past their 20s will do it until their 60s. And I don't want to be a statistic. I want to stop now. I want to diet again and just get my life back in order, because I want to be the best person I can be. But I'm way better. I'm way better than I was in the 20s. Sorry, the light went off. I'm way better than I was in my 20s. I'm 48. I'm doing good. And so don't be too hard on yourself. You can outgrow all these awkward growing pains. And pretty much after that, after the woman, the 20-year-old woman, I did date some other women that were a little bit older than me, but eventually I did get a couple girlfriends that were really cute, and they were younger than me, and I was proud to be with them. But I basically had to get sober to get the higher quality girls. When I was drunk and younger, I still had lots of self-esteem issues and had a lot of rage, but I eventually made amends with my parents and got that worked out. So I hope this video helps. um, it's hard, but you can eventually outgrow those awkward times, and hang in there and hit that subscribe button, and we'll talk to you soon.